But it's just absurd because it's not that good. You know, I mean, how about it's just a bad score?
I'm sorry. The Quadrant Theater I was in was laughing their asses off through this entire
When has that
movie.
ever been a barometer for what we do?
I was one of the people laughing.
Oh, that makes the difference now. Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I
laugh, then it's good.
If I'm laughing at it, it's because I think it's funny.
No,
that makes sense.
Martin,
to you.
I did not laugh.
You think
Martin,
I'm not laughing? I look around and go like,
Martin,
people are laughing.
No,
oh,
you know. A lot of people looking forward to the day two Marvel characters finally work together.
That happens all the time.
But not in the way they thought it would. They got two different studios. And they thought Marvel would never get Deadpool back, but they got him the best way they could. Maybe not in costume, maybe not doing the Deadpool things that they thought, but they got him and what's his name?
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury together. Again, not in costume, but we're getting it the best way we can right here in the Hitman's Bodyguard. We got here where the hitman would be Sam Jackson and the bodyguard would be Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a guy that's working as he always likes to say, a AAA protection agency. But a couple of them A's got dropped when someone got killed on the job.
On his watch.
On his watch. So now he's out there just kind of roughing it the best way he can, slumming it. But a big opportunity turns up when he has to protect the world's most infamous and most wanted hitman, who has to go to court to testify against someone. And the only bad thing about it would be a cushy job, a great job, if it wasn't somebody that he had some bad history with. What other way could we get all that witty banter and arguing and dialogue that we got going on? What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the trailer for The Hitman's Bodyguard, and we'll come back with a little bit more, including our review. That's me and Martin. Every show, will you shut the fuck up?
I thought about that. I saw that scene in the movie.
No, when life gives you shit, you make Kool-Aid.
Life doesn't usually give you shit and then turn into a beverage.
Boy, they would give the black man the Kool-Aid line right there. Turns Martin. You're not too thrilled by that, Martin, it looks like. But let me tell you something, Martin. I was thrilled about this because the marketing campaign on this was working on me. I like what they were doing with it. It's the Hitman's Bodyguard. So immediately they jumped on trying to play with that Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston bodyguard. From the very beginning with the poster.
Oh, I never saw that.
You never saw that?
Yeah.
It's not the best. I mean, this shit is Photoshopped terribly. Well, not terribly, but it's clearly Photoshopped. But I said it's not the quality that matters. It's the idea.
Sure.
I thought that was really funny. And they continued with the whole bodyguard parody in the TV spots. Shit, what the fuck? And you know, I'm like, man, y'all working that right there. And speaking of, and that was the teaser right there. The TV spots is what really got me because they were even playing it like, oh, this movie ain't nobody taking anything seriously. We just here to have fun. Even Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson, they in on the joke.
Ryan Reynolds raves Sam Jackson is obnoxious in every way.
Can't someone just taser him?
Samuel L. Jackson calls Ryan Reynolds extraordinarily annoying.
What?
Ooh, I can't wait to get some of that Samuel Jackson, Ryan Reynolds chemistry. I love the way these two guys are working together. And I ain't even seen the goddamn movie yet. And you know something? Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson, I really do love seeing them work together, and you should too, because that's about the best thing you're going to get from this film. Of course, I speak solely for myself, as we always do. I can't speak for these guys right here. But this movie, if you take, Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds, great. But it's like somebody took them and CG'd them into a shitty 80s action film. You know those kind that you catch on Cinemax or you catch at the video store that you never knew existed because it never came out in the theaters because it was just that generic. I mean, this is like one of those movies with A-list actors that they have in there. And with maybe a few extra added CG explosions to make it look like it's modern times or modern technology. But once they were out the movie, I did not really enjoy this. And it shows when they're gone. As I was saying before, that whole 80s action film thing that they got going on, a big part of that is just the plot. I mean, for a movie where you got A-list people into it, this is what you got right here. This plot, this is a plot that is from a list of pre-packaged bad action plots. With this one, they picked number 8 on the menu, which would be, we got to get the guy to court to testify. Or else, if they don't get there, the bad guy's going to get away. How many times have you seen that shit? And it could work. Well, you saw this movie with us, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Mm-mm. Okay. Oh, let me tell you something then, Corey.
Oh, no.
Because you see what I'm talking about already. You're shaking your head. We've seen this shit so many times that it's not that it can't work. It's on the execution. Not here, because they just do the most basic thing that they have to do to get by to make this work. Why? Because, well, shit, you know what? Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds are going to carry this. Everybody loves them. Ain't nobody worried about a plot. That would be cool if they were just them together for the whole 2 hours. But once they leave, boy, there are some gaps and holes to fill, if you ask me. But Martin might have a much different opinion.
It's very much a throwback to the... Gerst, did you see it?
I did not.
Yeah, it's very much a throwback to the action buddy comedies. It's really reminded me more in anything of Rush Hour. I kept thinking of that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get those anymore. You know,
Yeah.
there was a time when you had Lethal Weapon and a ton of these, and it kind of dropped off, and then Rush Hour sort of brought it back. And then after that, there was nothing unless Shane Black decided to come out of retirement for a movie or two.
Cop Out killed it.
Yeah. I feel like it did.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then the
Nice
Nice Guys, and then nothing else. And so with this, it is that like, hey, let's have one of those kind of movies. Like seems very intentional. Except we got Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson. And Corey is correct that it is like one of those kind of movies, one of those kind of plots. The thing is, I would say as much as it's that, the chemistry between them, really, that's the movie. And I don't know where you say they dropped out. They were in it the whole time.
I can tell you where they dropped out, man.
Okay.
Oh, you know what, Martin? Glad you asked, brother. Here's the thing. Even when they're in, now this is something that Martin and I, we don't agree on things. And Martin, he's going to jump on my ass tonight. He's not going to let me be me. But you know what? I'm just...
You be you. I'm just saying, the thing is with this movie is that they knew that Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson were the stars of this movie. That's what it was all about. Also, Salma Hayek.
But you're going to say that I'm nitpicking because, see, there's things that Martin can let slide. And I respect that, my friend. But I cannot. Because one of the things that I hate the most, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
It feels like you did.
No.
I'm just I'm wrong before I even really said anything.
I did not say that. I did not say that, and I wouldn't dare say that to you right now because you
would dare.
But right now, you know what? Hold on, Martin. Hold on. This is new Corey right here. I respect your opinion, man.
Fresh out the box.
It's weird how much
out.
new Corey looks like old ass Corey.
No, man, don't do that. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying to be different. Look, I've turned, Martin. I've turned. I'm more mature right now.
But your little symbols are on the other side of your arm.
Bizarro Corey. But there's something that you and we just don't agree on it. Sometimes you say I'm nitpicking, and these things I just can't do it.
I'm probably not going to disagree with anything you're about to say.
Well, one of the things that gets me in any movie, but especially an action movie, is when they get that old generic ass studio band soundtrack or score. Boom, 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 boom. So, sounds like it's out the 80s or the early 90s.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. It don't even go there. Man, they are in Europe, going from London over to Amsterdam, and yet they playing all this cheap-ass generic blues music and goofy-ass blues music. And it makes everything goofy. And even when they're doing action, it just seems silly when they're doing. I know there's a slight comic tinge to it, but you're supposed to be kind of thrilled. Nah,
it's not the slight. This was a full comedy.
You see what I'm talking about right here? Like the music is not supposed to draw itself from the real comedy that's there.
Is that blood, dude?
What the?
Got a dude with a harmonica in it. I don't even think that's a real harmonica. I thought that was synthesized.
Just somebody making their voice.
You have an excellent point. By all means, you should judge a 2-hour movie by 30 seconds.
What's the slight part here, though?
No, motherfucker! There's a lot of those in there. We'll get to that in a minute. What's the slight part? Slight part you talking about?
Well, you said like they had like a slight comedic tinge. It seems pretty overt.
Well, okay, so
but
but this clip right here,
Okay.
it is one of the things about the movie that they don't tell you is that there are some parts in here where it's a very violent film. And they do, and like you think this is goofy all the way through. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I will just say one of the first killings that they have in the film is a mother and her kid, like a 7-year-old kid. And so I'm thinking, fuck, this is not the comedy that I thought it was gonna be. Not that bothered me, but when they come it's either that boom, 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 or when the villain comes in. And they play that same theme every time he comes on. And we'll even talk about the villain in a little bit. Now, I know you're saying don't judge a movie by a clip of 30 seconds. Man, that's the whole movie they do this in. It's
but it has its reasons for doing that. Like somehow you're not able to capture when someone like focus or realize when somebody says, okay, yeah, I know these movies have done this. I'm going to do that, but I'm putting a slant on it. It's almost ironic.
You take this as a parody. I think this is just. I don't see that at all, man. This is not done on purpose.
Obvious.
That music, no. This is one of those. Again, one of those Hollywood movies where everything is done by the union people, it's one of those prepackaged Hollywood movies.
Like it slips by you.
Where's your proof that this is that?
To hear you say
where's your proof that this is?
You don't catch this.
Where's your proof that this is a parody of that? This is the music is satire in these other films.
Some of it is absurd, where it's like, okay, yeah, I get what you're doing, and that's funny that you would do something like that, and yet you're the person going, oh man. You're just ripping this thing off. It's like, no, dude, it's a parody
how
of that.
about it's just absurd because it's not that good? You know what I mean? How about it's just a bad score?
I'm sorry. The Quadrant Theater I was in was laughing their asses off through this entire
When has that
movie.
ever been a barometer for what we do? We go to so many shitty movies and the audience is losing their shit.
But I was one of the people laughing.
Oh, that makes the difference now. Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I
laugh, then it's good.
If I'm laughing at it, it's because I think it's funny.
Okay.
I'm not going to laugh if I don't think it's funny.
I'm sorry, Mark.
You do get that
Mark,
part,
I
right?
didn't know.
That makes sense
Mark,
to you.
I did not laugh. You think
I'm not laughing? I look around and go like,
Mark,
oh, people are laughing.
No,
Oh,
you know. Oh, Mark, you know what? And baby, and you know what? And Baby Boss, the people were laughing their ass off.
Right. Dude, are you seriously going back to movies we talked about months ago?
I can go to a bunch of movies. How many shitty films have we seen?
But can't we talk about this right now?
And Mark, you know what? I did not laugh. So therefore, I have to go by my opinion and say it was not that great.
Fine. That's fine if you don't.
But don't tell me that this is like, it's a parody of you is bad to me. See, here's what I was talking about. I'm not attacking you. If you see it as that, that's fine. But it just said, there was nothing to indicate that they were doing a throwback. It just, hey, you know what? It's just a generic score.
It's just so blatantly obvious. I don't see how you didn't get it.
I don't think that that's the case, but that's you. That's me.
Okay.
You know. Oh, and you know what? And you're not going to like the other thing that I have to say about this. Because I agree with you. Because I think that Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson are amazing together in this film.
Like they really, both of them stepped up. And Samuel Jackson, used to him showing up in movies and yelling and saying motherfucker, but most of the time he's phoning it in. And this was one where I was like, you know what? He's actually committed to it this time.
No, that's what I'm saying. You need them in this movie because when they're not, this movie is one of those forgettable action films that would go straight to streaming or video or whatever. And Samuel Jackson is being Samuel Jackson. That's the beauty. When I say we need them, I'm really saying we need Samuel Jackson. Because Ryan Reynolds is great with him. I'd love to see them in a different film together. Mm-hmm. But with this, really, Samuel Jackson is the guy that's carrying this movie. He is this movie. Ryan Reynolds is great too, but Ryan Reynolds is more the reaction guy.
Well, yeah, because Samuel Jackson, he's turned up to 11. And Ryan Reynolds could be at 11, but it was like, okay, he recognized we can't have two 11s.
No, that's great. They know how to work.
He dialed it down to 8, and it worked out perfectly.
Samuel Jackson just needs somebody to cuss out and sling his motherfuckers at. He needs a target for his motherfuckers, and there are a lot of motherfuckers in here. He almost owes that word royalties for using it so much in this movie. I understand. You said I don't understand parody or satire or whatever. That I know was done on purpose.
I know you understand it as a concept, but sometimes you miss it.
No, not here. And I understand that what he's doing is like, oh, I'm the motherfucker guy. Samuel Jackson, like, you know what? I'm having fun with this. I'm gonna play it up. I'm giving you the montage of the motherfuckers that they have, and that's just with what they gave me. There's a lot more in the movie.
Motherfucker.
This guy single-handedly ruined the word motherfucker.
Please, motherfucker.
Why are we always yelling?
No, but I love it, but I like those guys together. And the motherfucker didn't bother me because I'm like, oh, that's Samuel Jackson just playing up what everybody knows him to be. And I love how even other people got in on it. Like Salma Hayek, she got one motherfucker in there herself.
That is your job, motherfucker.
And I love her because
she stole it. Every time it cut to her, you were like, well, it's these guys' movie. What's she gonna do?
Oh,
every
yeah.
time she went like, no, I got a piece of this too.
Oh no, because she was able to bring out that inner cholo that she got.
Yeah.
When Selma was running them streets and talking to people like that, I love her. I love her in the movie. There's a lot of people in here that we're talking about who are the big names who get their parts in there. The only one that I don't understand, and this is, I don't know, Martin not gonna agree on this because there's another thing where the movie takes a hit for me, is Gary Oldman. I don't even understand why Gary Oldman is in this other than to get a check and just pay his mortgage for doing nothing. In the movie, he don't even need a name. He's besides having a Eastern European accent, he ain't doing no real acting.
Oh, wait, are you saying they could have hired somebody other than Gary Oldman?
They could have hired somebody with no name because he ain't nobody in this.
Let me tell you something right now. I agree with you.
Of course you do. I was about to say, now you better not. You come on, man. Something. I thought you said, well, that's the satire and parody of this. He was satiring other villains in other movies.
I mean, he's not even in it that much. When
he really is.
You add it all together, and it's almost like they say, like, well, we got these big name actors for the villain. We got to have an A-list actor, but. For what it was, they didn't need Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
But the thing is, you know what? You think about, he was in that shitty Kevin Costner movie, Criminal. He ain't above this.
No. That's what I'm saying.
He's done some shit.
Yeah.
Tiptoes. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like, look at this, right? He's like, did you see the size of that fucking check? Of course I had to do this.
Right.
You got your goddamn mind. You wouldn't turn that down either.
Can I ask a quick question? Because you said when Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds aren't in the movie, it's bad. But then you said Salma Hayek is good in the movie. But you said the only negative part is
well, let me get to
your
that
boy
right
Gary.
here because with Gary Oldman, I would tell you just to drive this point home seriously, and I'm not exaggerating. Gary Oldman, besides having an accent in this movie, all he does is sit, he eats something, and he just yells a few orders.
Okay.
And that's it with him. Now, I understand getting a check, but I was like, wow, when you see Gary Oldman, you just kind of expect more. Him, he can get his money. Me, I was like, man, that was just as a viewer, I felt like a waste of talent. But whatever,
I think it's one of these things where they go, listen, we need a villain who, like, when you see him, you think he's scary. And you see Gary Oldman, he brings gravitas just from being Gary Oldman. So that's lending to the character. It's a cheat. It's absolutely a cheat to make that character more than what he is just because of the actor we see there.
Yeah. I just like Gary Oldman a lot. This is one of our best actors out there. I mean, seriously, when I say that,
he's all right.
yeah, they all get the hell out of here. He was in Batman.
Yeah, I know. Because he was Commissioner Gordon, everybody goes like, yeah, man, he's Commissioner Gordon. No, it's like,
no, not really. If you look at his body, no, he's done some shit. But if you look at his body of work and his range of talent, he's one of the artists out there that has an extremely large range of talent in his ability, and that's why I look at him like,
he does, but it often doesn't get used. Like, think about that A Christmas Carol that he's in.
Oh, I know. I mean, look, it's not.
For all the great movies you could bring up, you could bring up an equally long list of shit.
I'm not gonna say somebody should not get their money and shouldn't get paid. I'm just saying here that he's better than most. Do what you got to do. It's not shocking to see him in this, but it just seems like, damn, it's just sad.
Well,
I wish
he's had a lot of divorces. Okay. He needs the money.
Yeah,
these bitches would leave me alone. Yeah. So, man, I get it. Now, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying with your thing right there, Salma Hayek is not in the movie a lot, and they do some things where I thought, okay, Again, it's not something that I think is that clever anymore. Samuel Jackson is married to her in the movie, and he has to, he's doing this all for his wife to get her out of jail. So, because she did nothing, they're just holding her to get at him. But there's like several flashbacks in this movie, which to me get annoying. She's in one of them. It's nothing new, nothing original. So that didn't stand out. You get her in a cell every now and then. She throws her lines out, and then you're gone. What I mean by with Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds when they're not in there, even when they're in there, the thing is they need to keep talking. If they're not talking, then they're doing some basic action scene, some basic car chase, and it's done in that way where it's like it's edited really bad. It's that whole thing where the camera's just kind of chaotic, and you cut, and then they just cut to the actor every now and then. Like, I'm seriously driving, you know. And they put all these extras running around with that bad dub over. Oh my God! And then you get the Wilhelm scream somewhere, and it's like, man, you know,
Come on, man.
It's not.
Why are you saying all this shit that's absolutely true?
Oh, now we agree. I think you think I hate
Is that
this.
part of the parody though of it?
No. No, he's right about that. That part is just them doing action, and it's not. This director, it's one of these things where
It's Patrick Hughes who did the Expendables 3.
Right.
Oh.
And when he's directing them at just doing dialogue, like he knows how to work with actors. He's just not a good action director.
Okay.
And it's not like he's a terrible action director. He's serviceable.
Yeah.
But because of how long it goes, there's times when it's like, man, a really good director who knew action could have made the action parts exciting.
Yeah.
Where you would have loved those.
They go on and on,
Yes.
and you just get so numb to it after a while because it's nothing new. Again, they're doing.
The fighting stuff is good, but the driving around, the car chases, those are dull.
Now, to be fair, Martin is right about that. It's near the end of the movie, and there's this action scene that's shot. It's almost like a more comical, less violent version of Atomic Blonde. That staircase scene where they do this all in one shot, and Ryan Reynolds is fighting one of these big ass henchmen
In a hardware store.
In a hardware store, all these things are being used to throw at each other, and this part is so good because it balances the action and Ryan Reynolds' comedy, and it was almost like the director stepped away and like his intern or assistant came in and like, all right, I'm gonna direct this part. You know, like,
don't tell nobody.
Yeah, all right, action, everybody. It's like a different director did this. I was like, man, if that same level of skill was used for all the movie, that would be amazing. And I looked at that and it blew me away, man. And it's a long scene. It starts out in a restaurant. It comes in, they're going through. They go to a kitchen. And they go to,
through a kitchen.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. I love that scene right there. But other than that, you know what? I have something to ask you too. Respectfully, a question here.
It's a trap.
No, I swear, Marty, it is not. I am respectfully asking you this question, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm being too sensitive about everything. I'm asking a question because I can see people right now on YouTube in our comment section. Man, movie is just a movie, man. Quit being so fucking sensitive, you pussy. Man, look, this is the time where we're hearing every week about somebody driving a car into a crowd.
Oh no!
Somebody doing a bombing, and there's a scene in here where they drive a truck into a crowd strapped with bombs, and I was like, you know something? I'm not boycotting this. I'm not rallying against it, but it seemed a little insensitive.
Well, I mean, you say insensitive, but it's at this point how often it's happened. It's just a technique. It's almost like if you don't do it, you're ignoring what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's close. It's for us. It's close on what just happened in Charlottesville, for sure.
I'm not even talking about Charlottesville. I'm talking about around the world.
But it's happening everywhere. Yeah. No. I saw it too, and I was just like,
I didn't get angry. You know, I'm just saying. I just thought like, you know,
it's a touchy thing. But it's like, you know, I mean, I suppose it's one of these things where they're like, listen, when is that not going to happen?
I know they said we're gonna get our money. Fuck them. You know, explosions still gonna happen in the movies. You know, I mean, action film got to be an action film. Sorry, which I get. I'm just saying it just felt a little weird. That's all. But I didn't get up and be like, oh my God, fuck this movie. You know, I didn't say that at all.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and if you really want to go into dismissive violence, I mean, this is nothing I get offended about at all. Not at all. When I'm bringing this up, it's just something that's very.
It's so violent. By the time you get to that point,
it gets so violent that I thought it should have gone to some ridiculous levels. But again, it went to that action movie level, that lame action movie level, where they were just killing side characters and henchmen and no-name cops, and you know they would. And it's so violent the way they kill these people, and they're innocent people, and they make a big deal about the main characters. You know, as long as our main dudes are okay, that's fine. But these other 50 people, well, nobody knew them anyway. Fuck them. And I'm just like, you know. That's I could see where maybe that's kind of a satire of action films, but I still like that just seems like bad writing to me. I don't know, but but that's like I said, that's just something that bothers me in a lot of movies.
Well, you know, it's an action film and it's a satire on action film, but it's a quasi half-ass satire on action films. So I get where you're coming from. I see how you can feel that way. We've seen so many of these where they write some funny stuff at first, and then it goes into its plot and it does its thing. But you have something here where they really wrote funny dialogue for them from the beginning to the very end, and the two actors play versions of what we think of them. But I think, man, so often I see them do lesser versions of this, and they were both really committed to it. Now, when you talk about, negatives, I'm not going to act like, hey, this is the best movie, because it's one of these things where even though it's just slightly under 2 hours, it felt a little long. And what Corey's point with the action, there's a long chase scene with a boat and cars and stuff.
Ooh, that shit was long.
And the guy he does fight scenes well, but car chases not so much. And that was where it was just like, man, this was way up here for me for so long.
Yeah.
And you come to that third act, and that's where it starts to go drop. It's like, damn it. I was ready to tell everybody, you the man. Everybody got to go see this.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, listen, if you want to see it, absolutely see it, because you're gonna have a lot of fun. And if not, well, you probably should see it, but it won't be the greatest thing.
I'm the same way. I say if you see this, I don't think you'd be disappointed, but I am by no means thinking that anybody needs to run out for this and rush to see this. It's something that I know if I saw in the theater, I'd be like, I could have waited a little while for streaming, and while I'm here, I'm not mad. I'm having a good time.
Honestly, I thought it was a joy because it's so rare that somebody pulls this off.
Well, they pulled it off in parts for me. So wait, let me ask you something. What are you rating?
Man, this movie was a full price up until the third act. It was I was like, yeah, you got the full price going. I'm enjoying myself. I can't wait for the next scene. It was that third act that pulled it down just enough to be a high matinee.
Yeah, I was full price for about, I don't know, a minute. And then after a while, I was like, all right, the things I'm not liking, like the music and these villainous scenes when we don't have our heroes on the screen. But as it went along, the things that you're talking about that brought it down to a matinee is what brought it down to a motherfucking rental for me. And it's a very positive rental. But not something that I said I would not really go out and brag about.
Tons of fun. I think you guys were.
Damn. All right. Shit. I ain't arguing with you. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking to them. I ain't talking to you.
You talking to them like
do your thing.
We appreciate satire.
Yeah. One of the things like he's talking about. Don't listen to this bitch over here. It's really good.
I would use the word bitch.
Jesus. No. You know what? I would. No. I'm sorry. Motherfuckers. What I would use.